Today's review is sponsored by Mortal Kombat, the most relaxed fighting game in history. The less you punch, the more you win. It's a moral victory, people. Which is boring.
Watch it, Alan. I'm shooting.
Pieces. You don't have to go to Texas for a chainsaw massacre. Slasher fans unite. Today we're looking at a classic of the Grindhouse. Pieces is one of the sleaziest, gnarliest, and goofiest slasher movies ever made. It's equally brutal as it is silly. This is a slasher movie that is completely shameless, and I mean that as a compliment. It's not afraid to be gory, full of nudity, and silly.
Get him!
Pieces is a US-Spanish co-production directed by Juan Piquer. He's directed some fun B-movies like The Creature Feature Slugs and The Rift. It also has a flavor of Italian horror because Joe D'Amato was one of the co-writers of this movie. This is a college campus slasher movie. You have this psychotic killer, as opposed to a non-psychotic killer, going around this college campus, murdering young co-eds with the stealthiest weapon of all, a chainsaw.
What are you doing? No! Please, no!
He then takes certain body parts from his victims and uses them to create a human doll. We all know what he intends to do with that. It's up to college student Kendall and an undercover agent named Mary to track down the killer. Oh, and also, an important plot point: titties. Pieces is one of those slasher movies that is focusing more on being gory, sleazy, and fun, rather than being good, and I love it for that. This is not a bad movie, it's not a so bad it's good movie, it's a movie that is very aware of what it is. It sometimes feels like a parody of slasher movies. Hell, look at this.
Bastard! Bastard!
The filmmakers knew what they were doing when making this flick. Pieces is a slasher Giallo hybrid. There are many elements in this movie that are right out of a Giallo flick. The killer mostly dresses in black. We mostly see him as a dark silhouette wearing a hat and a trench coat. We get quite a few shots of gloved hands. This movie embraces the sleaze. There is so much nudity in this flick, tits as far as the eye can see. Nudity is no stranger to the slasher genre, especially slashers from the early 80s. A lot of these movies were all about kills and boobs. And while that is the case with Pieces, I get a kick out of how nudity is a core motivation for the killer. No joke. When the killer was but a lad, he was putting together this puzzle of a naked woman. His mom came in while he was doing this, threw out his naked lady puzzle, and beat him. So this young man decided to respond to this by putting an axe in his mom's face. The catalyst for this guy's killing spree was literally someone throwing his nudie puzzle away. I know there's probably some deeper psychological issues here, but I just think it's funnier to think that this guy became a killer because someone took away his smut. That's what I mean when I say Pieces knows what it is. It's like the movie is flat out telling you, hey, We know why you're here. You're here for gore and sleaze. So that's what we're gonna give you. But it's the goofy, cheesy moments throughout the film that give Pieces its charm, at least for me. There are moments that will make you laugh, and moments that will make you say, what? How many other slasher movies have a tribute to Bruceploitation flicks? Yeah, this is the only one. For better or for worse. But yes, there's a nod to Bruceploitation movies. Our leading lady is walking home alone at night when all of a sudden this guy jumps out and starts doing karate at her. Not to her, at her. He never makes contact. The reason for this is because the producer of this movie, Dick Randall, had also produced a bunch of Bruceploitation movies. So he put this scene here as a way to promote those other movies. Does it make sense in this flick? Fuck no. Am I happy it's there? Fuck yeah.
Oh, hey, it's my Kung Fu professor. What's the story, Chow?
Oh, I am out jogging, and next thing I know, I am on ground.
Now, we gotta talk about the gore. Pieces is notorious amongst its fans for its violent, messy kills. Emphasis on the messy. These aren't creative kills like in a Friday the 13th movie, but they are stand-out kills. There is one kill that is more on the flashy side of things, the waterbed kill, but I'm not going to spoil that here because I do think that that is the best kill in the movie, so if you haven't seen Pieces, I would rather you experience it for yourself. But the rest of the kills are done with a chainsaw. There's not much creativity that can be done with a chainsaw, but that does not mean these are dull kills. They all stand out, and that's because they are messy. Everyone knows I love Texas Chainsaw Massacre. I've praised that movie so many times on this channel. The kills in that movie are more suggested, but they are all so good. Pieces takes away the suggestion from those kills and shows you the bloody mess that can be done with a chainsaw. For a movie that's known for such gory kills, Pieces has a lower body count than you would expect, below 10, which is a sweet spot for me when it comes to slasher movies. I like between 5 and 10 kills. You get a decent body count, moments for suspense, and it allows for more kills to stand out. Don't get me wrong, slasher movies with a smaller body count or a higher body count can still be good. The reason I just prefer the between 5 and 10 body count is because when you're not bombarded by so many kills, it can help the kills in the movie be more memorable. A lower body count can allow for more memorable kills. This is the body count in our movie, so we gotta make more stand out. Pieces is such a fun movie for people who like slasher movies and for people who like sleazy movies. I understand that there are folks out there who do not like these kinds of movies, and that's perfectly fine. We all have our own tastes. We're all allowed to have our own tastes, despite what a lot of assholes on social media insist. But if you do like sleazy slasher movies, you will have a good time with Pieces, especially if you like when your sleaze is served with a side of cheese. I wasn't originally going to rhyme there, but hey, I did and I don't regret it. And with that, let's get to the Grindhouse rankings. We've got a body count of 7. The kills mostly consist of some solid chainsaw deaths, but we do get a really good stabbing and a really good axe kill. It reaches the slasher requirements with a good body count, some standout kills, and a good killer. There's a lot of nudity in this flick. So many naked ladies. There's even a naked lady puzzle, for Christ's sake. I like how this movie combines a slasher movie with a Giallo flick. I like slasher movies, and I like Giallo movies, so putting them together makes me happy. The movie embraces its sleazy nature, and I respect that. It also embraces being cheesy fun. It's not trying to be so bad it's good, it's just trying to be entertaining. There are a lot of goofy moments throughout the film, and for me, they add to the charm. And the ending is wild. It wouldn't make sense in many other movies, but it works in this movie. I'm giving this a 4.5 out of 5. Pieces is just a fun, cheesy, bloody slasher movie. Give it a watch and just have a good time. As always, I want to thank all of you for continuing to watch and support this channel. Please leave a comment down below. Let me know some of your favorite sleazy slasher movies. This is the Maniac, here to remind you that the Grindhouse will never die.